All right. And well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for being here, everyone. But also, I think like every month we've just jumped straight into what we're doing and haven't really talked about, really much about our businesses because we don't want it to be salesy. But on the flip side, I think the fact that you're getting products from Salacia every month, it's a good thing to learn about, right? And then also because this month's destination is the South, well, Carrie's stores are located in historic downtown Savannah, and it's one of the focuses of tonight. So I thought it'd be a great chance for us to introduce her shops to you and the products in the kit. We've usually just kind of like gone quickly through that, but it kind of ties into the theme really well. Admitting somebody.
Yeah, we can probably explain them a little bit more too.
Yes, exactly. And so I also wanted to say, I used to work with Carrie, like for Salacia when she was not brand new, but it started like 7.5 years ago when my kids were like 6 months old. And so I, sometimes wonder, I'm like, why did I never really take a break? Like I never have a time for myself, which is part of the reason I don't read or do any of those things, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm always on the go. And so part of me kind of thinks, why didn't I do that? But I'm like, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I'm the type of person that can do that. I need something to do. And I'm so thankful for the time I worked for her because it was such good insight into being an entrepreneur. And I mean, I've taken so many lessons from that with me in my new business, and it's just been, it was fun working with her, and I'm really glad to work with her again on all of this. So I'm going to share my screen now.
And Jen's really good at organizing and with numbers and all those things. And I went to art school.
Which was in Savannah and was actually mentioned in our book club this month, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And almost like it wasn't such a great thing. And like some of the old town Savannah people were like, oh, those crazy kids with the punky hair and that sort of thing. But SCAD has been like one of the best gifts to Savannah. They have renovated so many buildings downtown, and it's just, Savannah wouldn't be what it is today without SCAD. I truly believe that. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, pretty.
So that is Worms Low in Savannah, which is a very famous spot. It's not near downtown, but you definitely need to go see it while you're there. Now, here is Carrie's 2 locations. She's got her what do you call that, Carrie?
I call it our flagship store, and this photo must have been taken right after we opened because everything is so orderly. There's barely anything. Well, every surface is covered now in the shop that you see there, even that countertop. And we started with this location maybe 5 years ago. We were going to teach classes at that station right there, that foretop right there, and that's like a shell basin or a sink at the end. So you can come in and make your own salt soak or body scrub. And now we offer clay masks, but we actually do all of that kind of behind the scenes now. And up until 2019, we were doing classes even up to 24 people. So it's been a great destination for visitors. It's right near Forsyth Park, if anyone's been to Savannah before. And the business is very like inspired by the South and the sea. So it feels very old and it feels very coastal. And then in the new location now is the one that you see on the right with the walls behind. Jen, I think we're seeing a different screen now though.
Sorry.
Yes. And so the other one, Jen came to see me in Savannah, and I think looks also like right after I opened, very minimal. And so this location's more in the touristy area, which I was expecting a lot more visitor traffic at this new shop, and that's been a nice surprise for us. Where did the visitors go last year? But it's picking up, and it's been a great move, even though it's been trying. You know, when I start a business, I always go like worst case scenario. And I thought, well, this other place is totally off the beaten path and people have found it. So it has to at least be that good or better. No, not when people don't walk by your store at all because of COVID. So, but we had, you know, that was my worst case scenario is I would have to spend, you know, my savings and keep a shop open. So we did, and it's okay. I signed a lease again and everything's going well. So, anyway, so that's, everything's inspired by the coast. I had a dream that I was packaging salts in a bottle that I found. My background's packaging design and marketing. So dreamt I was helping a client package their product in a bottle so it wouldn't cost so much money. And I woke up and my husband told me that Tybee Island is the Native American word for salt. And so Tybee means salt. And I thought that's really cool. I didn't know anything about that. And so, you know, going back to that old history, just like your company, Carlton, like people use salt for a whole bunch of different purposes. And the one that we use it for now is more like sort of, I'll say medicinal or relaxing. It's good for your body. We use it as a scrub. We use it to soak in. So, and then we blend different botanicals that you find in the South. So every month's kit should have a little bit something different inspired by the Southern Sea. So I was a little worried when Jen said, oh, let's do travel themed and every month it'll be different, like Australia. And I'm like, but my company's Georgia based. So we do carry like 25 other local artists and other small businesses we support. And like we carry Carlton's Shrubs now in our shop. So when I meet other cool small businesses, I bring them in and share their story too, which keeps me really motivated and excited and kind of my passion back to small business. So in the kits, each month we'll have different things from all over the world or maybe country, and definitely a little touch of Savannah every time.
Real quick, between page, I'm going to go, I have to get, like, it's going to look weird because I'm just making sure no one else is trying to join us. So, but it'll be quick. So forgive me. All right. So here's
All
this.
right.
And then I'm going to go straight into each part of the kit instead of talking about it here. Okay. So we're going to go here to one of our highlighted product of the month is the Blueberry Lemongrass Shrub. And blueberries are not, I guess they didn't begin in the South by any means, but Southern states are 4 of the top 10 producing states, and Georgia is actually number 2. Actually, Carlton, do you want to talk about the shrub now?
Thank you, Jenna and Carrie. I'll be happy to. To Aunt Judy's question, what is a shrub? Thank you for asking. But a shrub, spelled just like a short woody plant, is really from an Arabic word, sharab, which means beverage or to drink. And shrubs are vinegar-based fruit syrups that really were popular back to the Roman Empire and Babylonian days, when they would take date vinegar and mix it with non-potable water to make it drinkable. And over time, think the Navy and the British Navy and scurvy, lack of vitamin C, pre-refrigeration, vinegar was used to preserve fruits. And then they would drink that strained flavored vinegar to get vitamin C that they were not getting from other type of citrus fruits, because vinegar, being a derivative of course, wine, does have some of those nutrient components. Fast forward to colonial America, shrubs were used to preserve the flavor of a fruit when it wasn't in season. So they would take blueberries or apples or other stone fruit, peaches, and add sugar to macerate and get all those juices out. And then they would add vinegar to preserve it. But what made them really popular, though, was adding them to the spirits that were very common during that day. And those were rum and brandy, and even just really soda water, because the British actually created, club soda, through, the addition of CO2 to water. But I did not know anything about shrubs until about 6 years ago. here in Northeast Georgia, in the mountains of Rabun County and Clayton, Georgia, not Clayton County, but Clayton, the city in Rabun County. I was working at a farm to table restaurant, and it was my job to create weekly drink specials. And my boss at the time was like, well, make some shrubs because they're easy to make and some people know about them. And I was like, well, how do I do it? And so it's really just equal parts sugar, fruit, and vinegar. And so I was like, wait, so I'm taking whatever is in season. And the fun thing about this area of Northeast Georgia, they call it the farm to table capital of Georgia, because there are a lot of unique restaurants and chefs and farms up here. And so I was like, awesome. So I think the first one I ever made behind the bar, it takes about a week to really let all the flavors get together, was a strawberry and rhubarb shrub, using just cane sugar and apple cider vinegar. And I was like, this is kind of tart and sweet and refreshing all at the same time. And just like how lemonade is really refreshing because it creates salivation, that vinegar does the exact same thing. And so even if you're just a teetotaler, you're not drinking, you want something refreshing, add it to soda water or just still water, and it's awesome. But for us drinkers,
teetotaler, I love it.
I just love it combined. And a lot of times, the flavors that I've chosen, blueberry lemongrass is one of the more popular ones. The peach lavender is really delightful to me, being here in Georgia, but I'm originally from Birmingham, but I love the peach lavender. Strawberry peppercorn is so much fun because adding a little bit of olive oil to strawberry peppercorn is the best dressing you will ever have.
Oh, so you can use it as a dressing too. I guess it makes sense, like olive oil and vinegar.
Yeah, and because it's not 100% vinegar, you don't have to like normally do like your 3 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, really just equal parts. Because there's a lot of water and everything from the fruit and everything in the shrub. So just equal parts and just kind of whisk it up and pour it over your favorite salad. It's a lot of fun. I even did a quick pickling the other day with the cucumber mint shrub. I boiled the shrub, poured it over some thinly sliced zucchini and red onions and sealed it for a day. And all that flavor was in that zucchini and red onion.
Oh, that sounds so good. Do you post recipes on your website?
I do, but it's mainly my Instagram that I kind of do things that are just off the cuff like that. When it comes to the website, we focus more on the cocktails and the mocktails. But I'm going to really, like I said, get back into doing videos and tutorials because I loved it when you were talking about the things you would do down in Savannah. And it's been probably over 25 years that I've been in Savannah. So you're going to make me make a visit.
It has changed so much.
I'm on your website right now. First of all, I love that you do free shipping, but second of all, there are like good recipes on here. I'm going to follow you on Instagram too, but.
Oh, please. And my graphic artist, we're actually updating the recipes right now so that when you click on a flavor, you'll actually have 6 recipes per flavor as opposed to the 1 per that you see on that layout. So stay tuned for
see 6. Somebody's ahead of you. I see 6.
Well, right. There's 6 right now.
Oh.
But those are total. What we're about to do is
I see.
Take each flavor and there'll be 6 per flavor.
I gotcha.
So what is that? 36.
Well, I think it's really cool. A lot of people haven't heard of it, and I know it probably gets a little frustrating to have to keep explaining it, but it's always good when you have an opportunity to share your story. And I think it's really cool, the history, because I had no idea the history of it either.
Speaking of always having to explain it, Carrie and I are learning about that with this foray into sips and trips. So it's always good to have like your boilerplate statement loaded and ready to go for people. We can relate.
Well, Jen, you're right. And if you're, one thing I love about how you all started this conversation about small businesses, one of my favorite authors that I go back and forth listening to on Audible is Donald Miller. He talks a lot about your story brand and marketing made simple, and like what is your one liner, and that whole elevator thing, but he gives very practical approaches. So if you are struggling with telling that story and recognizing that we're not the heroes but the customer is, Donald Miller.
That's interesting too. I just thought about that, the whole elevator pitch.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to start calling it something else, like the open tent chat. Like
because no one's going to be in an elevator anymore.
the COVID convo. What can you say behind your mask? Choose your words wisely.
All right. Well, I'm sorry it keeps popping over to the other one. When I go back and forth, I'm trying to make sure no one's trying to get into the meeting. And my computer that I normally use for this is not working right now.
Those grits look delicious.
Yes.
Here's a funny story about grits. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and I did not eat grits until my senior year of high school. We had like our senior appreciation breakfast at like a hotel in downtown Savannah, and they had grits, and everyone's like, "You've never had grits?" And I like was peer pressured into trying them. And then like I like them now, but I just didn't know. Like we just were such a not southern family, I guess. But and then Carrie is going to talk about her super clever product that I just love, and I helped her with these for a while. And
it's really funny because the grits situation too, biscuits and grits, my mom just like, no way, I'm not eating that stuff. In my whole life, it was like biscuits, that's gross. And the only kind of biscuit I had ever had was from KFC. And I never had grits before. And I moved to Savannah. I learned about sweet tea. I learned about cavities. And then, so this Kiss My Grits product came about when we had a Whole Foods shop or a store that opened maybe 9-10 years ago now. I guess it had to have been 8 years because I've had my business for 9. So maybe 8 years ago, went to Whole Foods, grabbed a whole bunch of bulk products. I was like, I need to create a foot scrub. So I was trying to create something with like different natural materials, and I had grabbed oats, I grabbed grits, and other types of things that had texture. It's salt and sugar. And I was mixing it like literally right there on my counter. And I thought I could probably eat this. This would probably taste pretty good. So I tried it and it was very salty. And I thought, well, what if I added more sugar? And then I was like, it's on my lips. It tastes delicious. I'm like, Kiss My Grits.
Oh my God.
So it just came to me. I asked a friend of mine who's a trademark attorney, and she said, you can totally use the name because it's just a line from a movie. So if you guys ever want to do anything like that, you can create t-shirts, you can create any kind of product in the world from like a famous line, unless it's trademarked, and most of them are not. So you could get really clever with a product. But I came up with Kiss My Grits lip scrub, and we put all the ingredients on the top of the box because they're all organic, edible, and it tastes delicious. You can lick it off your lips. And exfoliating your lips is really good for keeping them plump and moisturized and rejuvenating skin cells. So it really is a very useful novelty product. People will try it for the first time kind of as a joke or think it's fun. But then they're like, oh, it's addicting. It works and it tastes good. And we also have a margarita flavor. So that's kind of with our cocktail theme too. So we use lime and orange essential oils in our lip scrub, the margarita one. And it's been so popular just plain by itself that I haven't created a lot of flavors, but one day I will. Maybe I'll do like a blueberry lemongrass shrub version.
This is amazing to me. I have never heard of a lip scrub.
No, see, I never heard of a shrub. So it is really kind of cool too. You can like line a cocktail glass with it too because it's edible. It has coconut oil, pecan oil, vitamin E, coconut oil, sugar, and salt. There's my recipe.
So you have the store, and then you have other products, or this is your product
Oh,
only
yeah, I think we have like 58 products.
that you create?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a crazy lady. Yeah.
I like crazy
So,
ladies.
yeah. So that's a fun product and it's one of a kind. No one else is making anything with grits.
I love that.
I hope you guys enjoy it in your kit. Don't be afraid to try it and then you can lick it off when you're done. Anyone that bought the kit.
All right, so this
Oh,
it's
so
an
good.
interesting product that was in the, and it reminded me so much of a product in Australia. I've already tried it. I've already tried mine, called Violet Crumble that I loved or my mom really, really loved it, but I like it. But it was like bringing back Australian memories for me.
Yeah, and it reminds me of my favorite candy from Watson's Chocolate in Buffalo, New York. And my Aunt Judy, that's on the call, I forgot about this, but she will send down a box of this, like a pound of it. And if you're lucky, the humidity doesn't get like more than half of it, but it's worth the risk. But it tastes just like that. And I cannot believe I can get it like at my neighborhood cafe now.
Very cool. Well, let me tell you about the Yaupon holly. I guess I said that
Yaupon.
right. It's a
Yaupon.
tree native to the southeastern United States, and its leaves were used for thousands of years by southeastern native tribes as a stimulating beverage, medicinal plant, and ceremonial drink. It is the only indigenous source of caffeine in North America. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And it's awesome. Our friends own this Yaupon tea house and they have a huge farm that they grow it, but it's grown wild everywhere. Like when you go hiking anywhere around here near the coastal areas, you'll see it. It's really tiny leaves and they make teas out of it, that people smoke it. You can make honey out of it. It's pretty fascinating. And it's a really cool, like, they say it's like a medicinal drink, but it also tastes good.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next one. These are the bourbon barrel bottle tags, and they made from reclaimed Tennessee whiskey bourbon barrels. And they also make these earrings that I wore tonight that Carrie gave me. So this part is the reclaimed bourbon barrel. You got anything to add, Carrie?
No, I just thought we can't talk about Taste of the South without talking about bourbon, even though I'm like a light drink color
Yeah, I don't drink
I like
it.
the light liquor.
I agree. So
Forget that. I got my bourbon right here.
Oh, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite bourbon?
Well, I don't know. I keep hearing some different political stories behind certain bourbon families.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't ever discuss brands.
Oh, well, did you hear about that the cool story about the woman whose ancestor, he was a slave and he taught the family how to make it. And so really it all goes back to some African American in, I think, Louisiana, is it?
I don't know that story.
I don't know. I just heard about it on like the Good Morning America or something. And so they're trying to launch this new brand, or they have launched a new brand, and paying homage to this guy who created it, and trying to like say, hey, look who really created it. I'll send you the information.
Well, I will introduce you to a local distiller here in Raven County, though, that has some award-winning bourbon and whiskeys called Moonrise Distillery. So they're my favorite in terms of local supporting, as well as another one right here in Raven County called Arden Road. So I'm blessed to live in an area where I have two distilleries that create awesome award-winning bourbons.
Cool.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell a quick story about the Low Country Boil, because Carrie, did you know that it originated in St. Helena Island?
I saw your note about that earlier.
Yeah. So Carrie has a beach house one island over, right?
Yeah.
From St. Helena. So she has to cross through there just to get to her beach cottage.
It's really small. It's 1,000 square feet. It's pink and we call it the Shrimp, which is also really fitting.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that part. You're right. So they say some people call this Frogmore stew.
Yes.
Because that's a small town on St. Helena Island, But then over the years, it's become known as Low Country Bowl, since that whole area is known as Low Country. And we've, really like taken ownership of it in Savannah and Charleston and Beaufort and all the places all around. But there's two different stories on how it started. One is that like our local fisherman didn't have many ingredients for dinner, and so he just threw all these together. And another one is that the stew came from Richard Gay, owner of Gay Seafood Company. The story goes that one week while on duty with the National Guard, he made the stew in an effort to serve over 100 of his fellow guardsmen. And it really, I mean, I've been at so many like tailgate events where we have a huge pot of this and they just like dump it out onto the newspaper. So I can totally see that being the real story.
Gay Fish Camp is still right there too.
Oh, really?
It's for sale. But thankfully, I think during COVID, it actually boomed because everyone was going to the islands to vacation, and it was hopping last time I was there. So hopefully, it doesn't go out of business because there's more shrimp boats that are busted on land than there are floating on the dock. Lots of history there.
And I'm just trying to get through. We got the American Queen boat guy coming at 7:30. So
it's okay. Yeah, you can
breeze through these last couple. Bird's Famous cookies, key lime coolers. This is like, if you're from Savannah, you know this company. And my mom used to give this as a gift all the time. And like I have in my notes here that eventually the second owner, he started selling these in little tins. Originally, they were sold like in jars like that, and he would go around and he'd sell them. And then they started like packaging them in little tins, and then eventually they made them into like really pretty scenes of like Savannah and Tybee and Hilton Head and things like that. So they're very touristy, yummy.
Like tins, like the Danish cookie tins.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, similar, but they're all square and they're just got pretty scenes on the. Well, at least that's last time I got one. It was like that. But they have all types of, but this one is my favorite cookie that they have.
Oh, good.
The peach honey straws and mint julep lip balm were also part of the kit. And these straws are from Capital B Company, which is based in Savannah. And you're friendly with them, right, Carrie?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the lip balm, that's Salcia's lip balm right there. And it's the mint julep flavor. And that is inspired by the Kentucky Derby, which this became a staple at that horse race in 1938. And as many as 120,000 are sold in a 2-day period every year. And yeah, Carrie's lip balms are awesome. So I just got mine today. I haven't used it yet, but I'm excited because it's not tinted and I can wear it under my mask with no problem.
Keeping it natural.
And then these last two items, Carrie, you want to talk about the hot sauce?
The hot sauce is awesome. I met this guy that makes these really small batches, and by small batch, he literally will make like 6 or 12 at a time. I mean, and then I'm like, well, what happens if people like it? He's like, well, I don't know. I'll have to make something different. So he is like the epitome of like, doesn't know about scaling a small business. But look at that little list right there that you see, that type is all the ingredients. So he uses like 30 different things and from so many different farmers, and it's incredible. But these are actually made to pair well with oysters and seafood. So it has like the salinity to it. And I have the only 2 batches he's ever made, or you do too in your kit. They're really great. And they're on a scale of 6 to 7. It's spicy, but not too bad.
Yeah. And the bandana is a homage to Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, for those of us who read the book. Lady Chablis' famous saying from the book. And now I'm going to go, we're at the end of the kit. I was going to go into peaches a little bit, but I want to go check in on the people. Yeah, Matthew's waiting. Let me see if I can see his face. I have a weird screen right now, so let's see. Here. Hi, Matthew. Uh-oh, you're muted. Well,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now. We're not actually ready for you. We're actually gone over. But I still wanted to let you in and thought, because we're about to make a cocktail, so you might have fun watching that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no problem.
So bear with me. I'm almost done. I had one little part I was showing from, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to be looking at the bellinis being made at Charleston Place, which is a Belmond Hotel. And the reason we did that is I was there and I was learning about the Bellini Club, which is part of like an exclusive club exclusive amenities I can offer clients who book at one of their hotels. And so the bellinis are made out of fresh peaches. And as we all know, peaches are a really popular crop in the South. Sorry, I'm getting distracted looking at everybody instead of my presentation. But everyone thinks of Georgia as the peach state, but actually, South Carolina outproduces us with peaches every year.
Yeah.
And by like twice as many peaches. It's their #1 export. And that's where I was when we recorded this little video. So this is the Belmond Hotel, and we're talking about bellinis. So we're at the Thoroughbred Club at the Belmond Charleston Place, and we're here with Jerry.
I've been there before.
Bellini for us, or a couple.
Good morning, Jen. My name is Jerry Macis. I'm a mixologist here at the Thoroughbred Club in Charleston, South Carolina, at the Charleston Place Hotel. We're making a bellini today. It is a world-renowned cocktail. Originally created in 1948 by Giuseppe Cipriani. Of course, from Italy, Venice.
It's one of my favorite places.
Yeah. So they had an abundance of peaches, and he was wondering, what should he do with all these peaches? He was inspired to make a bellini cocktail, which is pretty much fresh squeezed peaches.
Which are the #1 like produce or like what is it out of South Carolina?
For South Carolina, it is the state fruit. We are second in production only to California.
And see, I'm from Georgia, and we're known as the peach state, but South Carolina actually exports more of them.
That's ours. Georgia is known as the peach state. What we have here is just peach puree. The crew at the Cipriani Hotel in Venice would not approve of the way we're doing it. They only use the freshest Italian white peaches. And the agreement was with just a little bit of peach puree there.
It looks so good.
Top of Prosecco. Just get a nice froth in there. Get the sweetness of the peaches. Wonderful cocktail any day long.
I can't wait to try it. Thank you. Okay. So now I'm going to formally introduce Carlton, even though we've been chatting with him, but I want to give him a proper welcome. Carlton is a native of Birmingham, Alabama, and he has a background in art history, product marketing, and food and beverage. And since moving to Raboone, I know he just said it.
Raven,
County, Georgia. He has been an integral part of the community and an ardent supporter of the Northeast Georgia Food Bank and Teaching Kitchen. He has served as a host of the yearly Chef Throwdown, a local cooking competition modeled after the Food Network's Chopped. He has taken his love of bartending and hospitality to new heights with the founding of Farm to Cocktail, a cocktail mixer and freelance bartending company. The mixers are known as shrubs or drinking vinegars. We've talked about that. And you can find them at farmtococktail.com. Carlton resides in Tiger, Georgia with Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, and Diva, his 3 canine rescues. Love their names.
and for the first time, I now hear them barking because they want some attention. But I'll be with you shortly, girls. Sorry. So the cocktail that I would really like to make, I know that we're featuring the Blueberry Lemongrass Shrub. But I'm not sure what type of spirits you all have in your home or nearby, whether it's vodka like what Jen has. I have a little bit of everything here, obviously. I have some Prosecco, I have some gin, I have vodka, and I also have some bourbon. I'm a fan of all the spirits, light or dark, so it really doesn't matter. For those that had an opportunity to visit the Farm to Cocktail website and may have noticed under the recipes tab, these images here, it sort of shows the different flavors using different spirits, but believe it or not, all of the spirits work well with all of the flavors. So even though I may show strawberry with the tequila drink or gin with the cucumber mint, it doesn't really matter. So the basic ratio that I share with anybody using shrubs is a 1-to-2 ratio. 1 part shrub, let's say 1 ounce. And I have somewhere around here all my tools. This is my jigger. And I love cocktail and bar tools. They have such rich origins. The word jigger is thought to have come from like a jigger mast off of a Navy ship, but also they thought the name came from thingamajig, so it's a jigger. So who knows? But so typically I'll use 1 ounce of the syrup, 2 ounces of whatever spirit that you like, ice, and then top it with any type of bubbly, whether it be ginger beer, sparkling lemon soda, regular club soda, Prosecco, champagne, or even just still water to sort of extend the flavor of the drink. So the drink that I really want to make for you all right now, though, again, staying within the South, is a Kentucky mule, a blueberry mule, if you will. And so I have here a rocks glass, and I'm going to add about 2 ounces of Kentucky bourbon. To that, we will add 1 ounce of the Blueberry Lemongrass Shrub.
Okay, how am I supposed to know what an ounce is?
Well, I'm so used to measuring, but if you do not actually have a jigger, I will say this much.
I do.
Well,
So
if
you're doing it without it, and I'm just like, I could never do that. I have to measure everything every time.
My husband jigs and I do not.
see, honestly, I'm with Carrie. Measurements are not my thing. I'm going to go with it no matter what.
I was a financial analyst, so I'm
and he's an architect. So yeah, measuring is their thing.
Right.
Carlton, we're more creative. We just go with it. It looks good.
That's my art history and your SCAD background speaking way out loud. But for those that don't have the proper tools, 2 tablespoons equals 1 ounce. So 4 tablespoons of alcohol, 2 tablespoons of syrup, and then ice and soda to taste. So far I have my bourbon, my Blueberry Lemongrass Shrub. I'm still going to squeeze some lime, as is tradition with any type of mule. You know, we always know the Moscow mule, but Kentucky is with bourbon, whereas the Moscow would be with vodka. So Jen, with you having your vodka there, if you have any ginger beer, which will be the next ingredient, I would definitely make it.
I do. I forgot it. I gotta go get it out of the fridge though.
Yeah, go get it. Get it.
Get it, girl.
So I'm gonna just squeeze just a lime wedge to just add to the acid already found in the vinegar shrub. And I'm using Fever Tree's ginger beer, but I have so many different ginger beer companies that I support. What ginger beer do you have, Jen? Because I think I've seen that bottle recently.
Bundaberg.
It's so fun.
It's Australian, so.
Oh.
Are you from? Is your family Australian?
Yeah. So I'm actually a dual citizen of Australia.
Are you serious? I want to go there too.
Well, I can help
Me
you.
too.
That's funny though. That bottle, I'm not familiar with that, but I recently saw that in an ad that used my peach shrub in making a peach mule, and I didn't pause to investigate it. So I'm gonna look that up.
Look it up, Jen?
What?
Can you hold it up to the screen so we can see it?
I can't. Bunder.
That is so interesting that is exactly what they had used. And I don't even know. And this company that I think did the advertising using my peach lavender are out of New York. So I'm going to look into that.
It looks German.
I think it looks Aussie when you're like, it just looks very outbacky to me.
Yeah. I can probably order that on Amazon. So anyway, I have fever tree. So now I'm just going to kind of top those ingredients. And because it has fizziness in it, I'm not going to put it in a shaker. I'm just going to gently stir.
I'm going to do this fizzy at the end. I'm going to shake it.
Allison, did you already start yours? Do you like it? Have you had a shrub before?
I have not, and I do like it. And I did vodka, the blueberry lemongrass, and then ginger beer.
And what's also really cool about this, I think I'm correct in this, but this is like really low sugar. So, I mean, you get a lot of flavor without a lot of sugar, which is normally what your mixers have in them, is just pure sugar.
That is true, Carrie. You have my bottling before we sort of, now that I'm distributing this on a larger scale, I had to put the nutritional facts on this. And so using only 1 fluid ounce is only 7 grams of sugar. I don't know for people who care about that, if that's a lot or not, but it's only 7 grams per 1 ounce.
Well, it's like the number 4 ingredient here. So I think that's pretty good, because usually when you have anything that's flavored and tasty, it's usually like the first thing. So I think that's good.
Good. Well, well, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, my dog isn't barking. He's just like 15 years old and crazy and just pacing the house. He just paces all the time. Pace, 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 pace. So you probably hear it all around. All right. Are we ready to talk about steamboats?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to, and forgive me if I'm a little awkward, because my old computer, when I shared my screen, I could also see everybody, but now I don't see anybody. I just see like the screen. And so it's really hard for me to interact. So that's why I keep kind of going back and forth a lot. So I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then I'll introduce Matt, and then he can give us a better idea of the experience. So I just wanted to show you what their ships, their boats. Usually with cruises, you get in trouble if you call them a boat, but with them, they're actually, it is a boat, it's a steamboat. So, and I keep saying ship because I've been like trained to do that. So this is one of their boats along the Mississippi. This company, they do cruising on American rivers. Like you always hear about the river cruises in Europe, but we have them right here at home. And so this is the perfect year to get acquainted with these trips, because we can't go on European river cruises yet. And they don't just have the experience in the South, although that's what we're kind of going to focus on tonight because that's our event, but they also have trips on the Great Lakes, and also their sister company or parent company, their sister brand, Victor Cruise Lines operates in the Great Lakes and Canadian Maritimes, and then they have one of their steamboats up in the Pacific Northwest as well. And they have a little insider tip listed on our Virtuoso website. It says, a Mississippi River cruise is the perfect getaway for nature lovers and history buffs alike. Join us for an unparalleled journey through authentic America. It is a unique experience unlike any other. And I like the sound of that because that's what we're focused on. And I love authentic experiences. Now, what I really love is this marketing campaign that they've got going on called Come Home to America, because so many people are looking for domestic options this year. So I'm going to play you this quick video just to give you an idea of their product. Uh-oh, it looks funny. Yeah, it's not working.
It looks fine, but I can't hear anything. It looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It's great.
Well, we'll just talk about it. Does not look nice.
It does.
It's a shame because the music was really good. It like gave me goosebumps. But that's weird because the other video we played earlier was working with the volume.
It goes into the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
My parents took one of these trips and
Oh, really?
they said it was the best trip of their life. And they tell the stories over and over and over again.
I like that. See, the America roads can't reach. But like, the music on this was like really inspiring. I hate that it's not playing.
It's so beautiful.
All right, let me go back to this. And then,
So
well,
Jennifer,
since we're running over, I'm gonna skip.
your company puts people on these boats?
Yes, Matt's does. And I actually think we're going to talk about their entertainment, but I'm pretty sure that's Matt in this picture. Is that you?
Yeah, that is me. 6 years and 20 less pounds ago, maybe.
Right here, yeah. So when I was putting,
Love it.
I got that picture off of the Virtuoso website today, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's him.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that our marketing photos are that old, but we'll skim over that aspect of it.
No, this
Matt,
picture
is that a
went out
scene
early.
from Chicago?
We do. We have a lot of different shows on the boats, and we do a couple numbers from Chicago. I don't remember exactly what number this is. It is from our Broadway review, though. The great thing about the entertainment is that there's something for everybody. So whether it's rock and roll 50s, 60s, and Elvis and Little Richard, or Broadway, country western, we've had some celebrity headliners. We have some this year as well. So it's really an eclectic mix of intimate lounge performances as well as the main stage shows every single night all throughout the boat.
And we're going to show a quick video of these guys, the Steamboat Syncopators. Is that how you say it?
That's right, yeah.
I just really like the sound of this music, and it really ties in well. So after we watch this, I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll talk directly to Matt.
That's my mom.
All right. I love that one lady. She was just like, she couldn't be stopped. She was jamming out. So yeah, Matt, tell us a little more about the entertainment or just experience on board too. Because
Sure.
like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, well, Jen, hi everybody. I'm Matt from American Queen Steamboat Company. Great to see everybody. Looks like this has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm glad to be part of Jen's lineup of cavalcade of stars on these on these broadcasts. Well, the funny thing is about American Queen is. Jen, looking at some of those, the video footage that you've pulled and the imagery, it's interesting because we offer such a diverse and eclectic wealth of experiences on the rivers of America, of which we're operating right now. We're pretty much one of the only cruise lines in the world that is right now carrying people on board. We've got two of our vessels, our paddle wheelers, operating on the Mississippi River right now. And the experience is really an inclusive experience when it comes to both to really any aspect, whether you look at the historical experiences on shore when you're touring some of the battlefields, you're touring some of the museums. One of our guest favorites is now the Grammy Museum in southern Mississippi, looking at the history of B.B. King and again, Fats Waller, all of these great musical influences that really shaped what we know music is, whether it's rock and roll, rhythm and blues, soul, the Delta blues, gospel, New Orleans Dixieland, like Jen showed us. It's really an amazing experience, and you get to experience a little bit of that all throughout your cruise. Our cruises are week-long voyages. They're technically 8 nights, but 9 days. Your cruise begins with a pre-cruise hotel. So if you start in New Orleans, you got a free room downtown at the Hilton Riverside, steps away from Harrah's Casino, a couple blocks from Bourbon Street, Jackson Square, the French Quarters, all right at your fingertips. And again, it's a free stay there on a Saturday or Sunday night in New Orleans or Memphis down on Beale Street. So a lot of ways to get immersed into these wonderfully historic and meaningful cities that are still so important to the fabric of America as we see it today. And that's really amazing. So when you think of paddle wheelers, you think of boats, you might have a preconceived notion that this is a little dinner cruise boat, or a sightseeing tour. No, these are our largest boat, the American Queen, has 417 people on board. A theater, multiple dining rooms, a movie theater and a conference room, multiple bars and lounges. Oh, I should mention that it's all inclusive drinking on our boats too. So that's a pretty nice thing to consider, especially if you look at going in 2021, because we moved to all inclusive drinks during the pandemic. So the rates were already published for 2021. So if you do want to travel this year, we are operating, like I said, the value of your cruise fare is incredible for 2021, particularly because you're getting it priced before the alcohol was included. So it's a really great time to experience these places. I know everyone's kind of all over the place, but uh, these experiences are really amazing. I worked on board for many years, as Jen sort of spilled the beans on with that great picture of me. And people say, Matt, why would you go from being in entertainment to being a salesman? And I say, if you would only see some of the costumes I had to wear, you would change your career path too. But no, but our shows are great. Our entertainment.
Schedule.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you met your wife on board, and then they had to take their honeymoon like the on the boat because
Yeah. Well,
they couldn't get their schedules to sort out.
yeah, my wife worked on the boats before me. She's actually in that picture that Jen showed, but she worked on board first, and then one of the guys quit or something, and then I just luckily fit his silk shirts
Costume.
and leather pants and all that stuff, and I got the job. But yeah, so the funny thing is that when my wife got the job, we had already had our wedding date set, and she said, well, I got to get married. So she worked it out where she had a couple days off. She flew home from Memphis, and we got married. She had the week off for our wedding, and then the night after we got married, we flew to New Orleans, and then I was a passenger on the American Queen while my wife worked all week. So it was a great honeymoon for me, not necessarily for her. She was singing and dancing and playing bingo, and name that tune and everything, and I was just ordering room service, also complimentary, 24 hours a day on our boats. It's an amazing story and trajectory for me. I wound up being the cruise director, the hotel general manager, and now I'm here out helping Jen and all of you learn about this experience that is close to home, but really makes a vacation more accessible than ever with all the travel restrictions and everything that are still in place and uncertain moving forward here in 21. We've got some really fantastic immersive experiences included with American Queen.
Well, I love one of the things well, first of all, let me say I like how you grew with the company. Like you really know every piece of it, and I think that's important. I mean, I think about that with my my job, like my business. Like I eventually want to have people doing certain things for me, but I think you have to know it first. You have to know all the elements to really be successful in your job. So I think that's cool that you made that, progression. And one of the things I really like about the boats when I was watching videos and stuff today is like, when we're talking about this being the Taste of the South event, like they had literally rocking chairs and porch swings on like parts of the boat. So it's like a big front porch. It really is. And so that really ties in so well to the whole, Southern Mississippi thing. I love it.
And I
My
will say,
parents would fly a kite on the boat.
we do that sometimes. Yeah, we the funny thing is that I know one of the things that people think of when they see these boats and they think of the experiences. And Carrie, I know you said your mom and dad went on one of these trips prior, and people do kind of think that these experiences, because it's staying in America, it's close to home. There's a lot of that, Civil War history and everything, that you have to be of a certain age to really appreciate this. But I will tell you that more than ever in the past couple of years, we've seen such a shift to having a wide variety of ages cruising with us, because there's such an eclectic experience that you can make on board. So you can swim on the top deck, or lounge out by the River Grill, which is an open air bar. You can play bingo. You can go to a bourbon tasting. You can, go to the guest speakers, and our guest speakers range from folks who, whether they're local historians or professors from the colleges and universities along the river, even people who live these experiences. One of our guest favorites is Barbara Sims. She worked at Sun Records back in the 50s, and she talks about being in the studio when Jerry Lee Lewis recorded Great Balls of Fire, having lunch with Johnny Cash and calling him out for stealing Folsom Prison Blues. It was an old sort of just a country song, that he sort of stole from, I forget that she tells the story better than I do. She talks about meeting Elvis, and seeing Elvis drive downtown Memphis in his pink Cadillac. So there's such an amazing variety of experiences. Even on our theme cruises, we've got wine cruises in the Pacific Northwest. I know we're talking about the South here today, but a wine cruise through the Pacific Northwest, a bourbon cruise along the Ohio River. So just amazing. We even have a disco cruise next year. We've got a malt shop. Yeah. I mean, so it just goes to show that there are people of all types coming to experience these cruises, and the themes are a example that, hey, yes, we've got the Civil War historical perspective cruises. Yes, we've got big band cruises, but we've got some things that really speak to enhance your experience while you're on board, if something really speaks to you. So you get all the regular programming, plus those extra amenities and extra programming that really makes for a well-curated experience.
Well, based on Carlton's reactions, I think we've sold a cruise tonight.
Yeah.
We were
No,
not even trying to sell.
listen, it's either been a train ride from Toccoa here in Georgia to New Orleans, or now this. So I really love the whole domestic travel thing, and I just want someplace where I can just read a book and relax. And I honestly love traveling alone.
Ooh.
And we've got
I'm
single
trying that.
cabins, Carlton, no supplement, no extra 200%, none of that. And again, Carlton is so right. One of the things that I when I first went on as a guest, I thought, wow, what are people going to do? You can drive from Memphis to New Orleans in 6.5 hours if you don't stop to go to the bathroom or anything. But what are they going to do for 8 days on the river? And it really is amazing. All the years I spent, I've grown to appreciate what it is to sit down and have a conversation without your phone in your hands. What it means to play cards. Think about all the card games we've played back when we were younger with our family, sitting around the table. People do that with a cup of coffee, some fresh baked goods, maybe some pralines. It's just an amazing.
We didn't talk about pralines.
And even though we're still looking at distancing and things like that, this is a return to a relaxing time. You can feel that all your cares in the world are left behind, and you can really just have an experience going in town and walking the southern towns of Main Street. We have bicycles you can rent out; they're complimentary on board. So you're riding a bike downtown the Main Street. There's so many things that you can do.
And I'm so glad to hear that you said there's different ages, because I know, like with your video and with my parents, I know it's a slower thing and it's not like rock climbing and discos and stuff, but I think a lot of people don't really want that. You want to go on vacation to relax, but you don't necessarily want to eat dinner at 5 either.
Right.
So.
Well, and Carrie, you're so right. I mean, and then the nice thing is that as you work with Jen, you look at some things that are available, you'll actually find itineraries that really will speak to you. So, like again, I know we're talking about the South, but the Pacific Northwest, we've got led hiking excursions. Go up to the waterfalls at Multnomah Falls or Mount St. Helens. There's so many things that you can really make your experience what you want. Again, some of the marketing that's a little older does show a very specific client or customer that does buy in these vacations. But in the last couple of years, again, having lived on the boats, I've seen a more eclectic group of age, race, everything coming on board to have a great vacation, a relaxing, and really customizing the experience to what you want it to be. So the bars do stay open till 2 a.m. If you're out there having a good time with the musicians in the bar and you want to close the bar down, we stay open for you. If you want to play bingo during the day or watch a movie, we've got that. If you want to sit on the bus, which is included with the shore excursions program, you can do that. So there's so many things to really make your vacation what you want.
I'm on the website now.
Hey, all right.
Look for me. Don't you go over
Yeah,
there.
Jen's got the best rates. She's got some great deals. She's got extra credits for you. So, just the website's for looking, Jen is for booking, is what we like.
Gotcha.
But and really, this is I love Jen and so many of her colleagues in the agency that she is, working with. It's the creativity is amazing, and this is by far one of the most creative styles of presentation. So with Jen, she's not going to give you that run of the mill big boat with 4,000 kids, with whipping their wet towels down the hallway. That's not what she's getting into today.
Real quick, Deborah and Jillian, sorry, we're running over a few minutes. So we're just gonna, so if you just give us another 5 minutes, basically got everybody, we have book club that starts supposed to start at 8, but this is running over. It's the same Zoom link. So we'll just kind of start wrapping it up, and Matt's gonna play for us since he used to do entertainment on the boats, and so yeah, we'll do that, and then I'm going to wrap it up with a little bit about Savannah, but that really ties into our book because it was Midnight in the Garden, Good of Evil, so that should be okay.
All right, well, thanks, Jen. Well, everybody, since we're talking about a taste of the South tonight, there's some songs that just are synonymous with the Mississippi River and New Orleans. They had a favorite son. His name was Louis Armstrong. And I think this is a great song for the times that we're in, to celebrate each other, togetherness. And if you know the words to this song, don't sing along. I hate group singing. Just kidding. Go ahead. Sing with me if you know it. Here we go. Here we go. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah.
Oh, I love
All
it.
right. How's that?
That was awesome. Thank you
Well,
so
thank you
much.
guys. Well, thanks for having me tonight. I hope y'all had a great time tonight. The kits look amazing. I need to know where to order one of those. And as I used to say when I was the cruise director, I'll see you around the boat. Good night, everybody.
Bye. All right, guys, I'm going to share this last little bit, but it's about Savannah. So hopefully the Midnight in the Garden Good and Evil people will enjoy it. Let's see. I just want to tell you a little bit about Perry Lane Hotel. And one of the things I love about this hotel is that Carrie's husband, Patrick, was one of the architects that designed it. And it is, well, there's now another really cool hotel in downtown Savannah, but the two of them are like just amazing. This one is just super special because I think it's family friendly, even though it's luxury. And you'll see that here, this rooftop bar is just, the view is stunning. Like there are some that are right on the water, but I think this one, because it shows you so much of the skyline in Savannah, is just gorgeous. And this is also the rooftop pool. And this is a video I want to show you because it not only highlights the features of this hotel, but it also shows you, and it being a family friendly hotel, but it also just shows you a lot about my beautiful hometown. Okay, so that video gave me goosebumps earlier today, and I thought that was just, oh, because it's the first time I saw it, but it still gave me goosebumps just then. Like it just, I almost like teared up a little bit. Like I love my life here now, but I also love my hometown. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what Carrie's husband Patrick has shared with me the first time I went to visit Perry Lane after it had opened. Like Rob and I went with Carrie and Patrick, and we did a little, he took us around and like showed us all the intricacies of the hotel. Like there's so many things that I just would not notice on my own. But like knowing the story behind it and everything, it just really made the visit so special. And just the inspiration behind the design, like things you don't think about when you're just staying at a hotel. And I think that's what sets these properties apart that are part of Virtuoso as well. It's just like there's something special about all of them. But my favorite part, of course, is that rooftop bar, because I just love seeing the city beneath. But he took us to this room. You walk into the lobby of the hotel and you go off to the right. And he told me the story of, I'm going to share my screen again. Adelaide Harcourt. So Adelaide Harcourt is the grand dame of Savannah to her outside circle. She's an eccentric, glamorous socialite but to those on the inside, she's a visionary, the ultimate hostess and adventurer. Savannah magazine sits down with city's consummate art collector whose joie de vivre thrives as much in her 70s as it did in her 20s. Okay, this woman does not exist. So the company who is not the actual architects who designed the building, but the interior design people created this woman. She's fake. She doesn't exist. And her fake persona is what was the inspiration behind the much of the interior of the hotel. And this room right here is where Patrick took us and explained all the artifacts that you see like in these bookshelves. Like you open these drawers, and Carrie might remember what's inside. I can't remember. Everything ties back to her. And if you turn around from where you're like looking at this picture, if you were to turn around and look at the wall, I believe there's like a picture of the fake woman who inspired the whole thing. So I just like, that fascinated me. Like that much thought went into the creation of this hotel. And so I
asked him, I said, some of these things look really expensive and old. There's like old like artifacts and old trinkets, like little war looking toys and old ceramic things. And I mean, and he said, well, the owners just think if someone takes it, it's fine. It's their souvenir of their stay. And I'm like, what? So, I mean, there are some things that are missing now, but they don't risk the experience for what could possibly cost them money, because they want you to, like, if you feel compelled to take it, then take it, which is crazy.
And speaking of experience, because it's a Virtuoso hotel, and again, not trying to sell you to go there. I'm just telling you, if you wanted to go to Savannah, I would suggest you stay here. And this is why, because you get an upgrade on arrival. Well, first of all, when you arrive, they give you a glass of champagne. So that's always nice. Upgrade on arrival, subject to availability.
I just heard it was unlimited champagne from some guests that were staying there yesterday.
Yeah, it's like a certain hour. I think it's like 5 to 6. Like you get a glass on check-in, and then they have an hour every day where you can just drink champagne. Like that's so Savannah, right? You have complimentary breakfast every morning for 2, and $100 resort credit, and early in check-in and late checkout based on as long as it's available. So I'm guessing St. Patrick's Day, it wouldn't be available, but most of the time they're going to be able to accommodate that. So yeah, that's just some of the benefits of staying there. And I just love that I know somebody who designed a hotel that I can sell. It's like so cool. So that pretty much wraps up the whole sips and trips part of the event. And now we'll talk about Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. So whoever's not participating in book club, thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Nice
Carlton.
to meet you all.
You were a great co-host.
I enjoyed being here. And actually, when I mentioned I was in Savannah 25 years or so ago, it was after I shortly read Midnight of the Garden.
Really?
And I was a big fan of Lady Chablis, of course.
Yeah. I got stuck in an elevator with her once talking about elevator pitches.
And you have to stay and tell that story now.
What?
You have to tell this story. I don't know this story.
I just was stuck in an elevator with her. That's it. Not stuck. Just rode in an elevator with her.
Unless you literally got stuck on.
No, I don't know why I was in the hotel across the street from what's it called? The place where she performs.
Oh,
that place.
Before she
Carrie,
died.
she's still around?
No, she passed away maybe 8 years
Club
ago.
One. That's where she performed.
Yes.
That's not where she was performing in the book, but that's where she
I don't know why I was in the hotel elevator. It's actually where Allison got married.
got married. Her reception, yeah.
Yeah, or reception. Yeah. But
I was actually thinking earlier when you showed the picture of Wormslow, I was like, ah, that's where I took my wedding pictures.
Oh yeah.
So, 2 tears in a bucket, y'all. Good
Hey,
night.
we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.